know if anybody else is bothered by that, but I think that's really, really interesting. I just think that that's a misrepresentation of who you actually are. I really do. It doesn't mean there's not room for rappers and athletes, but it's like the 99.9% of the black community ain't never made a rap album. So why are you not talking to the other 99.9%? Why are you only talking to the 0.1%, who shot people, who've been gang affiliated, who have criminal charges on their record? Like isn't that interesting? And internalizing that is even more dangerous. So I would say what I like about Garvey is he's basically talking about knowledge, that knowledge is power. And so if you ever feel that the black community is not powerful, is not as powerful as we could be, or if you feel like we are victims and we're being victimized by powerful people, then I think part of the question you should ask yourself is, why don't we have any power? And we can't have all, it's hard to have all the power, but we can have some of the power, right? And the power is in a book, the power is in knowledge. So why are we not pursuing knowledge with every ounce of energy that we have? Or, I'm gonna tell you, it's more complex than we think. So here's what Garvey also says on page 7 of his book, Message to the People. Marcus Garvey says, use every spare minute you have in reading. If you are going on a journey that would take you an hour, carry something with you to read for that hour until you have reached the place. If you are sitting down waiting for somebody, have something in your pocket to read until the person comes. Don't waste time. Anytime you think you have to waste, you have to waste, put it in reading something. Carry with you a small pocket dictionary and study words while waiting or traveling, or a small pocket volume on some particular subject. Read through at least one book every week. Separate and distinct from your newspapers and journals. It will mean that at the end of the year you have read roughly 52 different subjects. After 5 years, you have read over 250 books. You may be considered then a well-read man or a well-read woman, and there will be a great difference between you and the person who has not read one book. You will be considered intelligent, and the other person will be considered ignorant. You and that person therefore will be living in two different worlds. One, the world of ignorance, and the other, the world of intelligence. Never forget that intelligence rules the world and ignorance carries the burden. Intelligence rules the world and ignorance carries the burden. Intelligence rules the world, ignorance carries the burden. You, 100 years after Garvey, are living in the age of something called artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is super intelligence, and you have a community full of people that don't even know that artificial intelligence even exists. They barely know. They barely know. Those individuals are going to be absolutely slaughtered in the next economy. They are not going to have jobs. They're going to be stuck in forms of slavery. The world is going to change around them. They won't even know what happened. They're not reading the headlines that tell you that Amazon just laid off 100,000 people because they replaced them with AI. They're not listening when Microsoft says, "Oh yeah, all of our computer programmers who went to college and got these degrees, we don't need them anymore. AI is now doing our coding for us." They're not paying attention. They're watching whatever their favorite rapper is doing. They're listening to somebody talk about their baby mama on Instagram. They're not paying attention to what's happening in the world. They're ignorant. They're choosing the ignorance because social media provides a tremendous amount of knowledge to everybody who wants it. And there's a reason why, for example, I could be talking as a college professor, and maybe I'll have a few hundred people that'll watch. By the end of the day, it's a few thousand, and I appreciate that very much. But that's not anywhere near. I saw Cardi B go live, and all she did was talk about who her baby daddy was having sex with, and she had 100,000 people live watching the Instagram. 100,000 people live watching.